Hello friends, and a special welcome to our newest subscribers. In today's vlog we talk about our most recent video on home and garden for mere mortals, my very first Habitat for Humanity build, and a couple other things. Stay tuned. First and foremost, let's talk about my most recent video on home and garden for mere mortals. What did you think of the topic? Have you seen it yet? I thought it was pretty important. There are a few videos online that try to explain this, and they either only talk about the heat zones or only talk about the hardiness zones, and there are very few that even talk about the frost dates. So I thought that it was important to put them all together in as best of a concise explanation as I could. And I had a new professor at the University of Minnesota, actually, who does a lot of work in agriculture, review it, and he said that it was a pretty good thing. So I felt proud of myself. I was surprised at the response online. The comment section was overwhelmingly more positive than my first video. I enjoyed reading and responding to all of those comments, so welcome if any of you came over from there. But the viewership itself was really low. The first video that I put out within 24 hours got about 3,600 views, and this one in the same period of time only got about 2,200. I'm assuming it's the topic, but it's too soon really to tell if that's going to be an evergreen video or if it's just going to die out. So a couple things to watch for when I do this again next time, or my next video next month. I focus almost exclusively on United States in that video. Well, I mean, I did focus exclusively on the United States in that video. That's because I live here, and this is where I know, and this material is what I'm familiar with. Fortunately, I was able to find a couple extra maps for folks in Australia or Europe or other places that have the same information that I talked about, but with a different map. And I think in the future, I just need to be more globally conscious if I do something like that. So one of my things to take away from that video. And also my mic quality. You know, I still struggle with it. My mic's right here. Hello, hello. You know, I could probably use a filter on there, on one of those little like foam balls that go over the top of it. I think that'll help. So I'll be getting to that soon. But in this last video, it was very windy. It was really windy for a whole week. There was really no other time for me to shoot, and that affected the quality. So I'm a little disappointed in myself for that. But, on a positive note, what did you think of the material? And what did you think about Steve Ramsey's opener? He's doing that for all the videos on home and garden for mere mortals moving forward, and I really like it. I think it adds a nice air of consistency. So thanks a lot, Steve. And speaking of home and garden for mere mortals, have you checked out the other new contributors? Tom over at the Homecraft Chronicles does some really neat DIY home improvement things. He recently had a video on some painting techniques and how to install those wire shelves, which, great information. I did that for my sister-in-law a couple years ago, and had I watched his video, I probably would have been more prepared for it. So I've got a link to his channel in the description below. And then Joe from Average Joe's Joinery. Man, go check him out. He's doing some really neat, simple tool woodworking projects that he's contributing to Home and Garden for Mere Mortals. So, for example, how to make a stool with just a drill and a saw. Real simple, but it's a beautiful and very sturdy final product. And it's hard to imagine somebody who's not a DIYer trying to do some simple things around the house. In fact, he touched on this in his recent vlog. So he's out there to make it simple for those of you mere mortals who don't have a great assortment of tools in your house and want to pick up a few things to do some simple things around the house. Be sure to give Joe a follow over at his channel too, and watch us all over at Home and Garden for Mere Mortals. I've got a link to his channel in the description below as well. In fact, before I let this topic go, recently he did a review on a new table saw that he got, and I did a review on my favorite table saw. So we did a table saw review within just a few days of each other. So be sure to watch his review, I'll put it right there, and then my review from last week, and compare and contrast and see which one you like better, and subscribe to us both. So what's new with the rest of my world? Well, let's start with the first Habitat for Humanity build that I ever did. Very, very neat. My Rotary chapter ended up having a couple days on the build site, and I was there all day on Thursday, and I'll show you some pictures right now. It was a nice cool day, somewhere in the mid-60s I'd say, and there were 8 of us on site, and some people were doing sheetrock inside, and some of us were outside prepping for siding. A friend of mine put in a window. I was working on an aluminum bending machine. I made a whole bunch of flanching and edge pieces. It was really, really neat. And then here I am with my friend Amber, and she's the one who put in that window. So super cool, great experience with Habitat. I've been doing a lot in the garden and outside in general, as you might imagine, as the weather is getting beautiful again. This past weekend was awfully cold. It was 39 when I woke up yesterday morning, 39 Fahrenheit, so about 2 centigrade. And I was still able to get out in my overalls and do a whole bunch of tilling. Yep, that's right. Yesterday I rented the rototiller for 4 hours and I tore up a whole bunch of ground that we're going to be renovating. Stay tuned for this Thursday. You'll get to see all of that footage right here. I'm planting the garden on the 21st, but here's a sneak peek of the new size. While I was tilling it, we had probably 20 minutes of very small hail, and I recently got a shipment of gooseberry and blueberries to add, which I can't wait to put in the ground. And then lastly, I need your help identifying this tree, so you arborist enthusiasts, tell me what this is. I've put the question out to my friends on Facebook as well, and the two most prevalent answers are that it's either a flowering dogwood tree or it's a bird cherry tree. That about sums it up for now. Aside from all of those things, we're still finishing the kitchen. It's taken a little bit longer than we had expected. The first few samples of red for the ceiling we just didn't like, so we had to go back and get a couple different colors, and that just pushed back our timetable of painting. So tonight and tomorrow we'll be finishing the trim, and then we cut in the red in the ceiling, and then we do the white on the walls, and it's probably going to take another week or so, and we're taking our time on it. But once we're done, I'll be sure to let you know. So, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I'm the Midwest Man Mountain. Thanks for subscribing, and until next time, bye.